I'm presenting on earthquake occurrence in West Africa. Actually, the West African region is mostly considered a stable continental area with few tectonic activities. The region is very far from the major plate boundaries and then major earthquake zone of the world. Now, their seismicity is not well known due to a few reasons: sparse seismic network coverage, incomplete and inhomogeneous earthquake catalogs, poor knowledge of the ground motion parameters. But the good news is, in recent times, there have been a vast improvements in the deployment of seismic equipment for monitoring earthquake activities in the region. We have the Africa Array seismic stations. Some are deployed in the region. We have the digital broadband seismic network in Ghana. Then we have the Nigerian seismic network. And we also have IMS data from the national data centers. The region is actually considered a low to moderate seismic region, but it has records of damaging earthquakes dating as far back as 1615. But several significant earthquakes have struck the region in recent times. So we are looking at events in Guinea, Cameroon, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, among others. Major events which had magnitudes between 6 and 7 occurred in 1862, 1939, and 1983. Some of the devastating earthquakes in historical times is an event that occurred in December 22nd December 1983. The magnitude, moment magnitude 6.3, and this event happened in Guinea. It was fatal. 275 people were killed. More than 1,000 were injured and left over 18,000 people homeless. Now we had another earthquake in Ghana. That's the 22nd June 1939 earthquake. 17 people lost their lives. Many structures were destroyed. So we are just looking at a few of the earthquakes that happened in the region. So 1636, we are looking at an event of 5.7 magnitude earthquake that happened in the western region of Ghana, Axim. Then in 1862, another event of magnitude 6.5 happened in Accra, Ghana, the capital, Accra, the capital city of Ghana. Then in 1906, we had another event of magnitude 5, and it happened in the Volta region of Ghana. Then in 1939, we had another event, magnitude 6.5, and that also happened in Ghana. Then we have the magnitude 6.3 earthquake that happened in Guinea. And in Nigeria, in 1994, we had an event of magnitude 4.2. And then in Mali, also had an event of magnitude 4.2. Then Nigeria, again, in 2000, there was an event of magnitude 4.4. Then Sierra Leone, in 2001, also had an event of magnitude 4.4. Then in 2007, Ivory Coast had an event of magnitude 5. Then Benin had an event of magnitude 4.4. Nigeria, again, in 2009, had an event of magnitude 4.4. So this is a map showing an event that happened in Nigeria on the 5th to 7th September 2018. And the main shock happened so close to Abuja, the capital, and it was followed by 2 aftershocks. This is a town in Ghana, which was completely destroyed by the 1939 earthquake. Now the place has been rebuilt, and we always want to find out if they have even factored any seismic parameters in their design. This is a seismicity map of Africa. This was produced in 2016 by Mustafa et al. And in West Africa, we have a few events. So what is causing these seismic activities in the region? In fact, the events are associated with the activity of the Romance fracture zone, the chain fracture zone, St. Paul transform faults, and then the Cameroon volcanic line. So these faults are actually contributing to the events that we have in the sub-region. We also have access to data from the International Data Center. And what we are doing in the sub-region is to have a catalog of earthquakes of the sub-region. And so we are using the IDC data to come up with a catalog of earthquake events. And this catalog is being used for seismic hazard studies in the region. Now, so we are now aware that we have earthquake activities in West Africa. So what do we do? Now, what we are doing is to, have an awareness creation program on earthquake safety measures in the sub-region. And so we have also started this in Ghana. So the way forward. We, in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Organization, the NDC of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, and then the Disaster Management Organization actually came together to deliberate on what we need to do, because there was an earth tremor in 2020, 24th June 2020. Within 10 minutes, we had 3 earth tremors. The main shock happened, and then the magnitude was 4.1. Then another one followed, 3.8, and then 3.3. So we thought it was wise to actually educate the people, because when this event happened, a lot of people felt it, and people panicked. And so we organized this meeting to meet the public and then the community and educate them on what they need to do before, during, and after an earthquake. So this is a program of training of trainers. And this is the NDC staff and then the National Disaster Management Organization. So we went there, educated them, and they in turn will go out and then meet the community and educate them also. So it's the same forum that we had. So in conclusion, what we are saying is the West African region is not a seismic as previously, envisaged. Because before we thought it was so quiet, but that is not the case. In fact, we have records of recent events attesting to this fact. And now we have seismic equipment monitoring the events. And so those events that we missed because we didn't have enough coverage, and then seismic equipment is now something of the past. And so the sub-region is actually active, and so we need to be proactive. So I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Ana Maria Perez from Fumbisis, Venezuela. And today, let's go to show a brief about a Waveform analyst training program to strengthen the NDC Venezuela. NDC Venezuela is located at the north of South America, specifically in Caracas City, in the facilities of Venezuelan Foundation for Seismological Research, hosting of Venezuelan Seismological Service and Venezuelan Tsunami Warning Center too. But what are the National Data Center? The National Data Center are national technical organizations competent in advising their governments on the verification for the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. Between the main elements of the NDC highlight the Waveform analyst staff. They played an important role in the architecture of the verification regime. For this reason, the permanent training is key for developed capacities for the team and for build the next generation learning curve reductions. Since 2021, started a new training program for Waveform analysts in the Venezuelan Seismological Service, designed with a career profile which allowed to the participants in a first stage, developed in synchrony and in the short time possible, abilities and skills necessary to seismic analysis event process. This program was based on two main items. First, in the knowledge of the context, where and how these events take place, and in the training on the protocols and procedures for the analysis process and its standardization. Reason, and sorry, can you, yes? Thank you. We can go to the next. Okay. This program allows increase the levels of all the staff to the certification. The main issue of the program was create a certified body of waveform analysts with the necessary skills for analysis seismic events, offering to new young talents and talents in general a career profile that allowed their development in the field of geosciences. Like specified objectives are close the gap and language barrier, allowing add new talent in the geosciences, design a learning strategy to reduce the learning curve, provide research topics for development of general projects and academic projects too, begin to get involved in the geosciences, create new jobs under a holistic and inclusive approach, guarantee the 24/7 operation of the NDC Venezuela and the Venezuelan Seismological Service with a pool of certified talents, guarantee the quality of the produce generated by them. Our participant profile is a wide spectrum of talents, from high school graduates until students and professionals of higher education. The recruitment of the talent is based on agreements with higher education institutions and from the dissemination of the call for the training program throughout all the social networks. Between the main features of our program, we have that it provides the required knowledge to assimilate technical content that could be resized or improved in other language in future trainings, building a baseline of knowledge level. The program was designed with a flexible schedule scheme, which allowed that each talent to continue with different study programs or participate in another activities in parallel with their training or the production process. The training was designed in 5 stages. The first one is the call on selection. The second one, the participants become candidate to Waveform Analyst. In this stage, a leveling process is carried out, and the theoretical knowledge are imparted in 2 phases, one synchronous and one asynchronous phases. Then, the participants become to production stage like an inter-analyst. This stage corresponds to a practical training where each analyst is accompanied by a qualified analyst or mentor, and their bulletins are reviewed by the staff of seismologists and other certified analysts. In this stage is carried out, the reinforcement of the knowledge and evaluation and feedback are carried out continuously until the certification. Once the participant get their certification, start the production under the role of Waveform Analyst, and according to select career profile, they could become an instructor of the program or choose the reserve wage. The training starts with elementary contents based on honorary seismology program and the Fumbisis Tour Venezuela seismic country. We encourage you to enjoy for these contents in our YouTube channel, Somos Fumbisis. Then are imparted theoretical contents in a Google Classroom platform, and then become the training internship in ergonomic workspace of Venezuelan Seismological Service. In this process, reinforcement of the content are carried out. And for all this, we have like a main result, a robust staff 24/7, integrate for a body of 24 Waveform analysts. This work showed an experience within the framework of regional capacity building of the NDC based on international cooperation processes for training next generation Waveform analysts and young scientists from NDC Venezuela in their mother tongue. Due to the results get, we encourage to replicate this training program, design it in other geographical spaces. And for the next step, we are planning to add soft skill modules that complement the technical contents. And we propose as the content of the NDC capacity building into the design program, translate in mother tongue for the strengthening the capacities of NDC Venezuela, and become the program into a cooperation CTB to build knowledge together other member states for next young generation into CTBTO framework. Well, finally, when we talk about specialized technical scientific contents, to introduce the first approach in the mother tongue about is, allows a better understanding and assimilation of the content, and allow to the preparation of the team to receive future advanced knowledge in other languages on the subject. Consider this, we suggest continuing organizing regional training to strengthen the NDC capacities, and we make available our facilities in Venezuela as hosting for incoming regional capacity building training program on mother tongue in the international cooperation framework. Thank you very much. If you have any question.
Well, hi, good afternoon. My name is Marcelo Fernandez from Argentina. I'm the coordinator of the NDC and the IMS stations in Argentina. Well, my presentation is about the first year of operation and analysis of the NDC. Okay, I work in the Nuclear Regulatory Authority. It's the agency of the Argentine state dedicated to the regulation and the control of nuclear activities in the areas of radiological and nuclear safety, protection and physical security, safeguard and non-proliferation. ARN mission is to maintain the appropriate level of protection of people, environment, and future generation from the harmful effects of ionizing radiation. To fulfill this mission, ARN operates as a competent national authority for regulation and inspection of 4 regulatory areas defined by the National Nuclear Activity Law: radiation safety, nuclear safety, safeguard and non-proliferation, protection and physical security. ARN acts as a point of contact before the CTBTO and is responsible for operation and maintenance of 5 stations from the IMS, 2 infrasound stations and 3 radionuclide stations, and the laboratory. The CTBT unit is part of the non-proliferation policies and institutional affairs. The head of the department is Sunino, Pablo. The head of the CTBT unit is my boss, Andres Pantin. I'm the IMS and NDC coordinator, and Ezequiel Avaro is the laboratory coordinator. That's the network in Argentina. As we said, we have 3 particle stations and 2 infrasound. One of the radionuclide stations is located in the headquarters. I have a laser point or something? No. Okay. RNO 1 is located in the headquarters of ARN. We have a new station, a new particle station that is not certified yet in the north of the country, that is ARP02. We have one in the southwest, that is ARP03. And we have in the same province of ARP03 a new station for infrasound, and in the south we have ISO2, infrasound station that we have certified in 2004. Well, for those who don't know what is a NDC, a National Data Center is an organization working with the treaty verification under the guidance of an integral part of the national authority and technical expertise in monitoring technologies. Data center is operated and maintained by the state party, whose function may include sending IMS data to the IDC, receiving data and product from the IDC. One of the roles of the NDC is advise the national authority by verifying the nature of the event and compliance with the treaty, reviewing proposed technical change to the verification system, providing technical advice to the representative in the Executive Council, use IMS and IDC products as needed to assist the verification effort, provide scientific expertise to the technical subsidiary organs, act as an interface to national scientific organization and civil application of the verification technologies, and is responsible for the proper use of IMS data and IDC products. Well, now in Argentina, having complied with the Argentine IMS network in accordance with the treaty, our next milestone is the verification regime is to establish our own NDC for radionuclide and infrasound data. We use the tools provided by the IDC, and we start by collecting, storing, analyzing, and sharing the data coming from our station. And in the case of any event, the data related will be reanalyzed and investigated. The software that we use is software provided by the IDC. the NDC in a box, RN toolkit, and the performance reporting tool. Sorry. That's an example. For example, the detection of CTBT relevant radionuclides in 2022. I take out all the level 1 and level 2 samples. Only we don't have level 5 in 2022, but this is the list of the detection with relevant radionuclide and how many detections we have in the year. For example, I don't know, cesium-137, we have 1 detection in the entire year. I didn't put any data related to concentrations, not numbers, but just the number of detections. The same for the other station. I don't include ARPO2 because it's not certified yet. Okay. Our current project. Collecting, storing, and analyze RN raw data and data products coming from the IMS stations. Detection level trends, data comparison between IDC and NDC for testing and capacity building purposes for analyst training. What we use is we take our spectrum, we analyze, and we compare with the IDC product then and check for any discrepancy. So how far we are from the IDC capability of analyzing capability. Producing RN reports, training our NDC staff, improvement and upgrade NDC equipment. We need a better computer and training of staff. For now, 3 RN stations in Argentina, plus 1 from Chile, that is in the very south, are being monitored on a daily basis using the tools provided by the CTBT for relevant radionuclide detections in the 4 corners of the country. Our goal is to monitor 13 stations in all the region, including Antarctica and the Caribbean. So we need more analyst capability, staff and computers. That's our goal. What we expect from the future: improve our capabilities to training courses and equipment upgrade, cover the entire region, South America, Caribbean, and Antarctica, as already said. Cooperation and interaction with other NDCs in the region, and share the data coming from our stations with educational institutions for scientific research purposes. And enjoy. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Marino Protti. I'm in charge of the Costa Rica National Data Center, which is hosted by the Costa Rican Volcanological and Seismological Observatory. This presentation is going to be more a series of suggestions or proposals to use the regional courses, the regional training courses, as tools to promote more interaction, more political interaction of our countries in issues related to the treaty. From the mission statement of the organization, I want to rescue this final phrase that as it's, the organization is tasked with promoting the treaty's universality. And this is something that can be done through these regional courses. Yearly, CTBTO carries out around a dozen training courses for National Data Center, technical staff, and authorized users. Most of these training courses are here in Vienna, but a few of them are done in regions around the world. So the suggestion is to increase this number of regional courses or regional schools and have these in parallel with political courses or meetings with diplomats and politicians from our countries, from the countries of the participants in the training course. So this will be a kind of a parallel interaction between scientists and politicians as a way to do some sort of science diplomacy. In this way, we could increase among politicians. We can create awareness among politicians on the importance of having an active involvement on the treaty issues. And integrating the countries in these regional ways through the courses, we could allow politicians to see the advantage of full membership and could trigger some countries to reestablish the payment, the quotas that we have to pay to the organization, and in some cases to start doing these payments. We know that this is an investment, and for our institutions that work on monitoring, we get a lot of contributions from the organization. A regional political integration of countries, for instance, the Central American region or the Central American and Caribbean regions could trigger proposals to create regional funds to pay these duties. And another way we could take advantage of these regional training courses is that early career scientists and politicians from the region, early career politicians too, from the regions should also be exposed. We should invite them to the opening ceremony or have an hour workshop or one session on the treaty in these regional courses. And they eventually could integrate this young professional network of the organization. We're suggesting also to include, as part of the program in these regional courses, workshops, an hour, 2-hour workshops with college students from the host country that will provide the arena for scientific and technical participants to interact with this age group and expose them to political and technical issues related to the treaty. This will be an efficient way to incorporate more people into this CTBTO youth group. And as a conclusion, these regional training courses are arenas where scientists can provide more technical information to politicians and diplomats from their own countries in order to stimulate them to actively engage in CTBT issues. By doing so, we scientists will be promoting the two of the pillars of science diplomacy, which are science for diplomacy and diplomacy. These are the science for diplomacy and science in diplomacy. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Good afternoon. My name is Naila Mohamed Osman Babiker from National Data Center, Sudan. I am going to present the impact of the capacity building system project on Sudan in this year. I start with the introduction. In this slide, I start with the Sudan location. Sudan is located in Northeast Africa, surrounded by Egypt, Libya, Chad, Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and the Red Sea. The population of Sudan, according to 2015 estimate, is about 40 million. The capital of Sudan is Khartoum, and the population is also about 5 million. Sudan is CTBTO in brief. Sudan has signed and ratified the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty on June 10, 2004, making Sudan 172 state signatory. The establishment of CBS in Sudan is helpful in integrating data acquisition, processing, and analyzing using the NDC in a box. The different training courses and participation in workshops and conferences are play an important role on the educational process using different software included in NDC in a box package. The priority in Sudan NDC is given to data analysis to develop capability and to detect nuclear explosion tests and to use IMS data and IDC product and other CTBT relevant information that benefit the research application for civil and scientific purposes. The unlimited support of the CTBTO is a crucial factor that keeps the NDC work well. Receiving new set of batteries to the CPS and DCI equipments are also appreciated. The resilience of COVID-19 pandemic had a negative impact on the contribution to the different CTBT activities, as well as it postponed the technical visit that's scheduled at the end of 2019. Continuing with the introduction, I'm going to talk here about the CPS installation. The activities toward the establishment of the Sudan NDC started in 2011. In 2012, the CPS for NDC establishment was received and the installation started on April 2013. The expert visit to Sudan took place from 22 to 26 April 2013 for the installation of the CPS. The NDC is already accessing CTBTO data through the internet-based system. The e-learning program plays an important role for assist and understand a lot of CTBTO concepts. The several training provided by the CTBTO and the CBS has tremendously provided a better understanding of the use of IMS data and IPC product. The major challenges that face the NDC staff in Sudan is the inadequacy in different training programs, particularly for data analysis, to specifically enhance the capability of the NDC officers and to actively participate and present the result in technical version. This figure here shows the CBS installation in Sudan in 2013. Continuing this slide with the introduction. Here is the Sudan NDC before the installation and after installation and Waveform. In this slide, I'm going to talk about data access and data analysis. Sudan NDC received data from selected primary seismic station. It is as PS43, PS42, PS39, PS24, and PS15. The daily routine work in Sudan NDC starts with data analysis using NDC in a box and Zeledon software. The results are compared using Zeledon software. The IMS data are used for different purposes of scientific research applications. I continue in this slide with data access and data analysis. I'm going to show you daily routine work using IMS data. In this slide, I present one of the NDC projects. These are updates of the Sudan seismic catalog and seismicity map. We use in this data IMS data gathered with other international and local seismic data. This figure here, figure 3, shows the seismic tectonic map in Sudan and the seismicity in 2010 before the updates. And figure 4 here shows the seismicity map after the update in 2015. Continue with data access and data analysis also. In this slide, I'm going to show you that the using of IMS data in meteorite detections. This slide reflects the use of infrasound data for meteorite detection. Meteorite in Sudan has been detected by 2 IMS infrasound stations, IS-32KE and IS-48TN, and the analysis was done by using the GPMCC program. Figure 5 shows the distribution history of meteorite in Sudan. The first fall of meteorite in Sudan is dated back to 1932 in an area called as Kortineki meteorite. Here's the location of the Kortineki meteorite. And there are also other meteorite, New Halfa here, Mrawaba, Idirat, Kingai at Darfur area, and also the most famous meteorite in northern Sudan is known as Al-Mahatta Sitta meteorite. Our case here is a Kosti meteorite in this area. Figure 6 showing the sighting of Kosti meteorite, which captured by mobile devices. Figure 7 and figure 8 shows the analysis of the IMS data infrasound data from these two stations using the DBMCC software. This usage of this IMS data is demonstrate that the IMS data is used for scientific purposes. Continue with here with the technical support, which is provided from the CTBTO. There is different sort of support provided by CTBTO. The first one here is the expert visit from the CTBTO in April 2016, which is oriented to visit the Sudan Seismic National Network, SSN, and also to visit the National Data Center. Here, I continue with technical support. Here is the purchase of the new sets of the UPS batteries to the CPS in 2020. And this figure shows the replacement of the UPS. And here is an installation and start. Continuous technical support provided from CTBTO. We receive a DCI system equipment in 2022, and the installation of this equipment are in process. Here is a site location for the VSAT installations, and here is some sort of communications and emails between Sudan NDC staff and CTBTO, and here is the DCI equipment when received by NDC staff in Sudan. In this slide, I am going to talk and give an example of the contribution of Sudan NDC in meetings, conferences, and workshops. Start with the Working Group B meeting. The contribution of Sudan in Working Group B meeting start under the pilot project, which is oriented to support experts from developing countries. This reflects the importance of the gender parity, geographical balance, and multilingualism in all CTBTO activities. In this concern, I take a chance to thank all the supporters in this project, and without their generous support, this will not be possible. There are many benefits, as I said here, for participation in this technical meeting. It is a good support to experts from developing countries to attend this technical meeting and to get direct contact with experts from different regions and sharing knowledge and critical discussions, and also meeting with different groups to enhance regional cooperation between NDCs, and also meeting with the African group and share knowledge and fill the gaps between African NDCs. Here in this picture, the contribution of Sudan in Working Group B meeting in 2019 under the umbrella of the pilot project. And also here in 2021, the Working Group B meeting is a virtual meeting due to the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Continue with meeting, conferences, and workshops. Here, I'm going to talk about different types of training and conferences and workshops which has positive impact on the knowledge and experience on Sudan staff, and the Sudan NDC staff. Here is the NDC Analyst training course in 2015, and here also is the contribution in workshop in Africa and the use of IMS data and IDC products with emphasis on radionuclide observation in December 2013 in Burkina Faso. Here is a contribution of the African Regional Infrasound Workshop and integrated training for NDC in Tunisia 2018. Continue also with meeting, conferences, and workshop. I'm going to talk to the contribution of Sudan from Sudan NDC staff in the National Data Center Workshop in 2022 in Spain. There are 2 participants from Sudan NDC that have been participated in this workshop as in-person and online format. In this slide, I'll continue to talk about the conference meeting and workshop. Here are some examples for different contributions in National Data Center workshop as in the NDC workshop in 2020 in Algeria, and infrasound workshop, as I said, in African Region infrasound workshop and training course in Tunisia, and also participation in this intermediate level infrasound data analysis training in Paris, Romania, 2019. For Science and Technology Conference, there is a good contribution from Sudan NDC staff starting from 2015 until 2023. Training courses also, there is a contribution from Sudan NDC staff in online and in-person types of training and training courses and different stories. For regional contribution, we have contribution with Egypt NDC, with contribution in Women in National Data Centers as a celebration of International Women's Day. In this slide, I'm going to talk about the effect of COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic has negative impact of contribution to the different activities of CTBTO. The impact of COVID-19 restrictions on the normal strategy of work is that this pandemic has caused a major shift from in-person to online events. Most of the CPT events that are highly technical and practical are postponed, which are not possibly replaced by virtual ones. The online format of training courses and indirect contact with the trainee in different methodologies is not valuable as is the in-person attendance. Also in workshop and conferences and meetings, the limited in-person attendance also has a negative impact. And one of the most important problems that especially had been faced by developing countries is the problems of the internet connections and electricity shortcut of more than 4 hours per day, which restricts the online contributions. Challenge and needs. In this slide, I'm going to talk about challenge and needs. What we need as the NDC staff to enhance cooperation on the exchange of technologies used to verify compliance with this treaty, and also to strengthen national implementation of verification measures and take advantage of the peaceful application of these techniques. And also, as NDC staff, it is important to exchange information and available data through IDC, when each state party cooperates with IDC through its national authority. The challenge is that we have to get benefit from training and capacity building opportunities in the field of disarmament and nuclear testing, and also to contribute effectively to the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons and to the process of nuclear disarmament, and thus to the promotion of international peace and security through all the world. In my last slide, I'm going to conclude that since the installation of the CPS system in Sudan, many benefit and several contributions of research and legal staff in different activities were supported by the CTBTO. This support play an important role to understand the relevant treaty activities. Effort from state parties should support and promote all requirements and contribute to enter into the force of the treaty. Last and not least, I'm going to declare that all the above activities are not achieved without continuous support of the PTS on different levels. And I am here, thanks the CTBTO and thanks the PTS, and also the SnT team for giving me a chance to give my talk in this conference. And thank you.